Hello traders, how are we? Welcome to the live stream. Trader Tom here from Simply Forex, and we are going to do the following. We are going to look at a couple of trades that I am currently in. We are teetering on the edge of H4 structure breaks, which is not where I want to be. We are not going to look at the news because if we take a quick look at the calendar, there is sweet FA news coming out. And also, guys, I'm going to show you some trades that I like the look of. We've got a couple of US dollar pairs setting up. We like pound franc as well. So we'll take a look at all the potential trades as well. Also, guys, if I sound like Barry White today, it's because I've been gargling razor blades. It's a little hobby of mine. No, it's just I've just had a terrible sore throat, guys. And a little bit of a cough. So if someone could please just get the smallest violin out for me, that would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, that's why I sound like Barry White. If you don't know who Barry White is, go check him out. That is me today. I am the walrus of love. Right, so let's just get stuck in, guys. Let's start with a couple of trades that I am in. Right. Yeah. And also, guys, don't forget to leave a question. Right. Leave a question. Come say hello. Leave a question. Get involved in the live stream. What have you got to lose? Right. So let's start with Aussie dollar Swiss franc, because this was a trade I took yesterday. And it's the only trade I've taken this week. So let's understand why I took this trade, first of all. So on the day chart, guys, right, you can see we are in a downtrend, right? We are, because we're getting lower lows and potentially lower highs, right? So we're in a downtrend. You can even, draw a line on these and you'll see a channel form, right? And, price with a channel typically wants to do that. But, you'll be talking weeks before that happens. But anyway, we're in a daily downtrend, which is where I want to be. We were bouncing off of resistance, right? Plus we were getting bearish candles. All of these candles, since hitting that level, are bearish, right? I don't care if they are green. They are bearish bad boy candles. I like to call them bad boys, right? So that is bearish. That is definitely bearish. And yesterday's candle, big top wick, is bearish, right? And all I was trying to do, guys, was come down to this psychological level, this 5.2 thousand. So daily was telling me I can sell. And then basically what I'm looking for, guys, after that is the H4 to tell me I can sell. Now, this is interesting and something I also wanted to share as well. So again, just like the day chart, I'm following price action, right? It's a little bit scruffy, but look, it breaks down, right? It breaks down and then we get a nice retrace, right? We're getting lower highs, yeah, lower lows. Now, I saw this candle form, okay? And then I basically got in, I got a bit of a retrace. I put my stop above this last high here, as you can see up here. And the idea, like I say, was to take it back down to that 0.5 2000 level, right? So everything was telling me this was a good trade. Well, not telling me it was a good trade, telling me it's a good setup. Whether the trade works out or not, I don't know. But what I do is follow my strategy to the letter, right? We also had the indicator telling us the market was bearish and price had retraced to the river, right? The smart river that we use in our Discord, guys, right? So everything was telling me I could sell this, and I did. Now, two things, right? This is what I wanted to share, right? So first of all, if I enter here, right, and I put my stop loss above the H4 high, my trade has further to go, right? Which isn't a bad thing, right? Because you're protecting yourself with a large stop loss, but your trade, chances are your trade's going to take longer for it to hit target. Now, one thing this trade got me thinking about was, you know, what if my target was always the last H4 low, right? If we're in a downtrend, right, I'm just aiming for the last H4 low, right? That would be, there's a stronger chance of price hitting that level quicker and just a bigger chance of the trade being more successful than price having to come all the way down to here, right? But the problem with that is, but there's no problem with that, but I didn't create a problem, but because I put my stop loss up here, I was unable to take profit here, okay? So it gets you thinking, guys, right? It gets you thinking, you know, about two things. Okay. Now, obviously, we got this big bearish candle, right? Now, if I wanted this to be my target and this my stop loss, let's get the ruler out, right? I cannot enter, right? That's 28 pips and that's 18 pips. I cannot enter where I entered. Okay. But I can enter if I do that. Oh, if I do that as my stop loss and that as my target, right, then I can enter here. So it's got me thinking, guys, I may wait for that to be the case, right, where I get my 1:1, making the last H4 low always the target, right? But what might happen, you know, a negative of that is you just get price do this and come down and hit target, right? You may not always get this retrace. But I'm going to do I think I'm going to do a tutorial on this for the VIP Trading Academy, right? Even the indicator guys, this will be a useful little tutorial to do, because just making the target the last H4 low in a downtrend or H4 high in an uptrend, there's a strong probability of that getting hit. Now, another way of looking at it, excuse me, guys, is you can start entering on the close of this candle, right? But then you just build the trade, right? Maybe you put 50% of the trade here, price comes back up here, you add another 50%, right? And we'll sit, you know, and potentially you could trade it back down to these lows. Because I would have hit target. Now I'm in a position, as you can see, where I haven't hit target, right? I haven't hit target. And, you know, if this high breaks, I may well just get out of the trade, right? And we have 41 minutes until this H4 candle finishes forming, right? So, you know, this candle held on to these highs, right? Let's put a little level through there. Yeah, that high is holding. So, yeah, as long as this level holds and, you know, these wicks, if we get a wick off this one, closes back in, right, I will stay in this trade. Okay, but if it doesn't, then I might get out of this trade early. You know, sometimes price wants to sweep a lot of stop losses, right? You know, maybe some of the big boys are seeing this level. They want to swipe some of these stop losses in here, right? And then it comes back down. Okay, we shall see. I don't know if that's wishful thinking, but we shall see. So Aussie dollar Swiss franc is one trade that I am in, and that's what that trade got me thinking about. I'm also slightly perspiring because I'm so sick today. Let me have some coffee. That will cheer me up a bit. And the other trade I'm in, guys, is euro pound. Now, again, this is teetering on the edge. Okay, so if we look at the day chart, again, everything is pointing for us to buy this, right? We was in this downtrend. What the hell just happened there? A glitch in the matrix, that was. What wonderful films they are. So we're here, right? We're in an uptrend. We're getting higher lows. These highs were broken. We're getting higher highs, right? So we're clearly in an uptrend on the daily. And just look at the last 2 days candles, right? Both very bullish. So I still really like this trade from a daily point of view, right? And I'm in this trade. We're looking to take it potentially up to here, if not all the way back up to here. But the H4 is playing silly buggers. Well, not quite. It's holding. So this level is crucial for this trade, right? If this level here, you can see it keeps bouncing off this level in here, right? This is proven to be a key H4 level, right? So again, if I get a bearish candle that breaks through this low, right, I might get out of this trade early. But having said that, we're so close to the stop loss anyway, so I might not, right? But I want to see a candle like this, right? I want it to hold on to this level, and we start seeing some buying pressure. Now, whether I get out of this trade back up at this high, that would also be a consideration because price is not doing what we want it to do. So yeah, euro, pound, and Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, not in great positions in terms of trades, but we're still in the trade. Let's see if these H4 levels hold. Guys, I'm also going to show you all of the trades that I'm interested in right now. Before we do, let's see who is in the house. Right, who have we got? Luigi, how are you? Jolma from Brazil, how are you? Godwin, how the devil have you been? Good to see you back. Boyo Nedar, I probably pronounced that beautifully, wants to look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar, no problem. Sam, hi Sam, how are you? Heath, how have you been? Good afternoon. Adrian, how are you, mate? How you getting on with the course? Adrian, this one is for you. My Liverpool FC favourite mug with lots of coffee, and I've been taking so many drugs today as well. Not obviously, drugs for coughs and sore throats. Okay, Jolma is in euro pound too. Yeah, so we want that level to hold, Jolma. Yeah, okay, so room one arrange. Okay, their general rule is to target the last H4 low or high. Yeah, it's definitely a good idea. Harry Parker, I'm also in euro pound buy. French data came out today bearish. Yeah, and just French politics at the moment, right, are in a complete state. And Adrian is not happy with my Liverpool mug. Right, let's start here. Let's go to New Zealand dollar, US dollar, because this coincides nicely with one of my trade ideas. What a wonderful thing, because I'm looking at a few US dollar pairs myself. And I will show you exactly why, right? This is I really like New Zealand US dollar buys. Why do I like it? Because not only have we, become an uptrend, no ifs and buts, that's an uptrend. We're getting higher lows, higher highs. So it's become an uptrend, but it's also broken this trend line. That is a real double whammy bad boy structure break. I don't know why I keep saying bad boy. I've become very gangster. So yeah, I really like New Zealand dollar, US dollar buys, right? And we've got a really nice bullish candle, and we've got room to move into. I would target, back up to here. You've got this level through here. I would aim for taking price back up to here, because this is the next significant level of resistance, right? But there is a big but. Okay, where? Sorry, it's a terrible gag. But there is a big but, and it is, will we get a retrace? If we do, I am all over this trade, right? But if we look at the H4, there's no value right? You can clearly see H4's in an uptrend, okay, but there's no value up here. Right? I don't want to start buying in here. Where I do want to start buying is when price retraces back to these highs. Let's put a level in there so it's crystal clear, right? You can see these highs were once resistance, right? When price, or if price comes back and tests it, it will be very good support. And we've got the trend line and we've got the horizontal support as well. And if price makes its way down to here, we'll have the smart river as part of our indicator. This will probably catch up with that level as well. So this would be a beautiful, wonderful entry, right? But we need that retrace. So we shall see, guys. You know, you've got daily bullish, you've got the river coming up, you've got great support. But yeah, we need a retrace. So 100% interested in buying New Zealand dollar, US dollar, but I'm looking for a retrace into here. And if you think about that for a second, guys, let me get some more coffee because I really do sound like Barry White. My nickname around these parts is the Walrus of Love. It's not really. I wish it was. They're like, oh, Tom in Dubai. Oh, yeah, the Walrus of Love. Yeah, that's him. So, yeah, so I've totally lost my trail of thought. Yeah, so this is the interesting thing here, right? And I was actually having a chat with somebody in the VIP Discord about this. Now, this becomes a level of interest. It's unlikely that this level will get hit today. So every day I give you my trade ideas, and New Zealand dollar, US dollar is one of my trade ideas, but it may not materialize today, right? This is probably, if it does retrace, is going to take at least tomorrow as well, unless we get some, you know, US dollar news, which we don't have. Right, these are H4 candles. That's going to take, you know, like 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. You know, we might be looking like 16 hours to get down to this level. But however long it takes, I wait patiently like a coiled cobra. That's my other nickname. Oh, I'm laughing at my own jokes. I've got to, guys. I'm so sick. I've got to, you know, try and cheer myself up. Yeah, so it might take ages to get to that level, but so be it, right? So be it. It takes as long as it takes to get down to here. River catches up. Happy days, right? And just to carry on this US dollar theme, there's a few I'm looking at. So US dollar, Canadian dollar is another one, right? Because if we look at structure, it was kind, you know, this was the structure. Right? And then bang, and this is where we're at, right? We're getting lower highs, lower lows, and right, we are at the smart river, which is what we like, and we've got a nice big bearish candle, and you know the indicators telling us it's bearish as well, right? So there's just lots of confluence with US dollar CAD sells, right? Let's go through them. Trend and structure downtrend, right? Number 2, we're at our resistance level. Not only this horizontal level, but the river itself is an area of resistance. So we're in a downtrend. We've got support and resistance, tick. We've got bearish candles, right? Big bearish candle, tick. And we've got value because we're at the river and we've got loads of room to move into back down to these lows. So tick, right? Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, we like US dollar, Canadian dollar sells. Again, guys, it doesn't mean I wake up in the morning, you know, look at US dollar, Canadian dollar day chart, wipe the custard from out of my eyes, and then I start selling, you know, US dollar CAD. We need to wait for more confirmation. And that comes in the form of the H4. Because the H4, right, I mean, you can see it's in an uptrend because of our green indicator here, but just look at it, right? It's this is where we're at, pretty much, right? But we're in an uptrend until this low here breaks. Hence, my cunning alarm, which is more cunning than a fox of cunning that went to the University of Cunning. I believe that is a Blackadder phrase, and I got it terribly wrong, probably. Can anyone correct me on the correct phrase that I was trying to use? Or was it Baldrick and Rowan Atkinson in the trenches? But it was still Blackadder. Anyway, please tell me. Answers on a postcard. So yeah, you know, again, I'll be like a coiled cobra. If we get a break of this level, right, we can enter just on the break, right? You know, if we get structure like this, bang, and we get a clear H4 high, then sometimes we can just enter the break, right? We can start selling here, stops above here, look to take price lower. It depends on when that last high is, really. Okay, but again, US dollar, Canadian dollar, I'm interested in selling that. And then the third one, guys, is Euro US dollar. So this is coming down into a really nice area. If we look at the day chart, you can see yesterday's candle, the body of the candle broke all these highs, right? So it broke this resistance. It broke out of this range. It was ranging like a ranging Power Ranger, right? And then it broke out of this range. Nice big bullish candle. I think we've got a little bit more room back up to 1.18 thousand. Okay. So yeah, really like this trade as well. If you look at the H4, I'm interested in this level, right? I'm interested in this level. I'd like to see the Smart River catch up, okay? But I'm interested in this level. Now, I did have an alarm in here. Maybe it went off. So yeah, I could. The fact that I'm in euro pound buys sort of prevents me from entering this trade aggressively, although I want to. I could potentially just start buying here, stops here, and then just take price back up to here. Because at this point, right, if we do that from my target, I'll put my stop loss there. We are basically at the point, this line represents 1:1. So I could take this trade and trade it now aggressively. And I am contemplating that. But I am in euro pound buys. So what I might do is take, if they materialize, is take one of the US dollar, Canadian dollar, or New Zealand dollar, US dollar weakness trades. So there you go, guys. So Boyanida, I hope you were looking at the, I hope you were looking for buys with New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Hope that helps. Right, what else are we looking at here, guys? Right, everyone's in euro pound. Let's have a quick look at it again. Okay, not what we want to see. Yeah, if it breaks that level, guys, it might be game over for euro pound. Let's see. We've still got over half an hour, plenty of time. Boyanida, I've already done that. Crypto El Patron high. Boyanida PPI is going to bring it down. Yeah, it might. US dollar news might bring it down. Yeah, absolutely. Afternoon Phil. Adrian Blackadder goes fourth. Yes, thank you. That's what it was. I was just wondering if I got the phrase right, but I probably didn't. Baldrick has a cunning plan. Yeah, I love Baldrick. So Rowan Atkinson was obviously Blackadder. And that was Rowan Atkinson. What was Baldrick's actor name? Who is the real life actor? There you go for 3 points. Right, we've got a few people wanting to look at New Zealand dollar yen buys. Now, I know a few of the guys using the indicator, right? So they're kicking some ass. And this is a really nice indicator trade. And as a, and of course, a price action trade, right? This is a good price action trade. Let's understand why. Because if you look at the daily, we've broken a key level. Why is everything taking so long to load? Look at all my loading here. There we go. So again, if I just put this level through here, because what was once resistance, right, when it breaks, becomes good support. We'll see this more clearly on the H4, but that's what's happening there. And also, you know, if we look at New Zealand yen, right, we're kind of, bang, we've had a break of this high. We're getting higher highs, higher lows. New Zealand yen is in an uptrend. We're clearly trading above the river as well. There's lots of things to like about this trade. The more I look at it, the more I like it, right? And I would say we've got room to move into back up to this kind of resistance here. This 88 level would be a good psychological level, right? So daily's looking good. If we drop down to the H4, H4's looking good. There's only one thing that slightly concerns me, right? So you can see, I mean, it's a little bit choppy, but price action is basically right in an uptrend, still held on to these lows, right? And we're clearly in an uptrend still, right? We're getting all of these here, higher highs, higher potentially lows in here. So we're also in a H4 uptrend. We've come back to the river, our smart river, which is where we're looking for buys. So it's a really nice potential trade. The only thing is when I see a gap that's been missed, I always think, does the market want to fill that first? And it might do, right? It might just want to wick down, fill that, right, and come back up, and we end up with a candle looking like this, right? If that happens, I will be buying this, right? But it's just this gap for me needs to be filled, right? So yeah, I really like the level. I like the daily. I like everything about it. I just want this gap to be filled. So let's see what happens here. We have got a big bearish candle. Maybe that gives us enough momentum to come down and fill that level. But what I want to see is a very quick rejection of that level, right? And then I will definitely be buying New Zealand yen. So yeah, they're all the trades I'm looking at. Actually, there's one more, pound Swiss franc. This is at an interesting level for our indicator as well. So let's start with the daily chart. So we know we've been having a bit of Swiss franc strength, right? Hence, I'm in Aussie dollar Swiss franc. And you can see here that price was kind of at this level, right? And then we broke down. We're here, right? We're getting lower highs, okay? And we're definitely getting lower lows. Okay, so we're in a downtrend. And we're getting bearish candles, both of them. And we had a gap down, which suggests aggressive selling, right? So lots of things to like. And again, lots of room to move into with pound Swiss franc, back down to these lows. Now, if we drop to the H4, we have got a really nice retrace happening right now. Yeah, so price came down. It was building back up, right? We've got this H4 build up, and then bang, we are in a H4 downtrend. We are at our river, right? You can see the indicators telling us it's bearish. We're at the river. You know, this could potentially be a really nice entry. Because I'm in Aussie dollar Swiss franc sells, I would wait for a bearish candle to form in here. Okay, if it does, again, I think this could be a really nice sell. Back down to these lows, stops above the river potentially, you know, if not further because of that daily chart. So yeah, we like pound Swiss francs. So that that's everything I'm looking at pretty much. What are you guys looking at? And also, guys, if you've got any questions about trading, please don't be scared. Come and ask me whatever you like about trading. Also, guys, if I could please ask everyone right now to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. It really helps support the channel and the video. Also, guys, if you haven't already, let's go through these things above my head. So, guys, please check out the website. First of all, www.simply-forex.com. You can get access to all of our premium trading education, including the course, including the mentorship program, including the VIP Academy, and including our new Price Action Pro indicator. Check it all out. All the information you need is on the website. The next one, please come join our trading community. If you haven't already, we've got a beautiful, blossoming trading community. Traders share their knowledge, their ideas. They send naked pictures. No, they don't. I'm only joking about that one. But you can have a chit chat about anything. Oh, God, I'm in a very silly, slightly sick mood. So, yeah, you can have a chit chat, share trade ideas, share knowledge. It's a great community, guys. Come check it out. And also, guys, today's live stream is brought to you by Pepperstone, which are a world-class broker. And if you switch brokers using our link today, we will give you free VIP Academy access and we'll give you a free Essential Trading View subscription. It is literally a no-brainer. You are getting probably no value from your current broker. You just can't be bothered to change. But if you can be bothered, we will hook you up with some cool shit. Right, what else are we looking at? Okay, Stuart. So that was Tony Robinson. Okay. Thank you very much, Stuart. 3 points. Right, Antonio wants to look at Euro New Zealand dollar. Okay, let's take a look at that. The problem with Euro New Zealand dollar is there's no place for it to go, right? This was an old losing trade I had on Euro New Zealand dollar. But if we look at the daily, right, the thing with it is that this candle, I know everything's bearish, right? If we look at the day chart, right, we were here, price come down to this level. I saw this big bullish candle. This is what I started entering on the H4, right? Looking to take price up to here, but got stopped down. Now, we still haven't broken that low. You can see this wick has closed back into this low, right? So I'm not interested in buying Euro New Zealand dollar because this is bearish, right? Predominantly bearish. And we're potentially starting to make lower highs, right? But I don't want to sell it because this wick has held on to that low. So this would be a trade where I'd come back tomorrow. This might very well be a trade tomorrow because if we got a daily candle that finished like this candle right now, I would sell it because the body of the candle has now broken these lows. It's confirmed. The downtrend is confirmed. We would be getting lower lows. Now, that's if the candle finishes like this. Then I'll be looking for a retrace on the H4, okay? But again, if the candle finishes like this, right, and we end up with a wick closing back within that wick, I'm not interested again, right? There's not enough selling pressure there, right? But if we did get a big bearish candle like this, I would be very much interested in selling Euro New Zealand dollar. And we've had a bit of Euro weakness come into the markets, right? And if we did get a candle that looked like that, you can clearly see we've got some nice levels, right? I would look for price, you know, to come back to this level would be too soon, no value. So I would potentially want it to come back up to these last highs here, right? The river comes down, catches up with price. Yeah, somewhere in here to look for Euro New Zealand sells. But it's a big if, you know, if it starts holding on to these lows, which we're seeing a bit of buying pressure now, I won't be looking for sells anyway. Right, what else are we looking at? What we've got here, Tony. Okay, so we've got Feroz. How are you, Feroz? Welcome back. Good to have you here. Pound US dollar, please. Pound US dollar is a bit of a mess and doesn't have any room, right? It's hitting resistance now. So this level and this level, they're the two key levels with pound US dollar, right? Now, you could trade potentially the range, right? Come from here, down to here, come from here, back up to here, right? Now, that's only if you looked at the day chart, right? But on the weekly, right, we are in a downtrend. But again, we don't want to sell these candles. So if you go to the weekly chart, right, we're in a downtrend, getting lower lows. Okay, but do you want to sell those candles? No. So pound US dollar is from a candle perspective, is telling us potentially there's a lot of buying pressure here. And then on the daily, we can clearly see that. Yeah, we've had lots of buying pressure. But I'm only interested if we break this level. Because as you know, the trades I spoke about earlier, New Zealand dollar, US dollar, Canadian dollar, euro, US dollar. I'm interested in buying US dollar weakness, right? Or trading US dollar weakness, I should say. So I would be interested in pound US dollar if we got a candle that broke through this level. Then I'm interested in pound US dollar, right? But right now, am I interested in selling from this level? Not really. There's just too much buying pressure here. So yeah, it's a tricky one, pound US dollar. There's other US dollar pairs to trade for us, so trade them. They're better setups. And everyone who's potentially new to the live stream, Liverpool Football Club are the best team in the world. I think everyone knows that's a fact. Right, well, so we're looking at Niraj. Hi, Niraj, how are you? We've got a question here from Crypto El Patron. Do you think the Smart River is superior to the Ichimoku Cloud? Yes, because the Ichimoku Cloud is based on lagging information, whereas our indicator is based on real-time data, not lagging data. Yeah, everything we use on our indicator, right, is based on real-time structure breaks, yeah, not lagging indicators. So yes, you know, we created it. So of course I'm going to say that, but the indicator trades with the same logic as price action. And if you look at any trader online, right, any guru or any trader, right, the traders that have longevity and most of the good strategies out there are based on a thorough knowledge of price action, right? And there's only a few things that drive price action, right? Structure and trend, support and resistance, candlesticks, this concept of value, and multiple time frame analysis. But if your strategy is based on that, chances are you're going to have some success at trading. If your strategy is based on the moving average 9 crossing over the moving average 20, you're not really understanding how to trade, right? You're trading a mechanism, right? So yeah, I obviously think it's superior to any indicator out there. Right, well, so we're looking at Hi, this is a Q&A. Yes, Dread plays perfect. Yeah, good. Feel free to ask me anything. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Dread plays. Finally, a question that we have been waiting for. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Now, it's a very good question. And I recently So I used to love an Hawaiian pizza when I was younger, right? Let's say as a teenager. I used to love it. Then as I progressed and matured as an adult, I haven't matured, but you know what I mean. Then I became less keen on pineapple on a pizza. And then within about the last year, I don't know if I'm having a midlife crisis or something, right? I'll go and buy a Porsche or something next, get a tattoo. But I now like pineapple on my pizza again. I was very much enjoying Hawaiian pizzas recently. So there's my career in pineapple on pizza, which is far more important than trading. So Dread plays. Very good question. Okay. Dread plays. Don't know what Forex trading is. Forex trading, Dread plays, basically a load of funny candles on a chart that you need to make sense of. You need to understand how to read price action to understand where the chart could potentially go. That's Forex trading in a nutshell. Keep a tight grip of your money and risk management. Don't be a psychological mess when you trade. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. So Askif, how to get those support and resistance levels. So Askif, so some of these support and resistance levels are levels I have drawn on my chart. And then others are support and resistance levels from the indicator as well. Okay, so these levels here are support and resistance levels from the indicator, and also draw in my own levels as well. And these usually coincide with the higher time frame levels on the indicator, but I just don't have them on. So yeah, there you go. Faraz, please put that mug away. I'm glad that my Liverpool football mug, not only it gets people engaged, even if it's negatively. Raphael wants to look at okay. I don't really look much at cryptocurrencies, but why not? Let's take a look at one. Ethereum, sorry, against the US dollar, and Raphael wants to long on the 15-minute chart. Let's understand the higher time frame first. Daily, wouldn't touch it. That's a mess. Right, just look at that. You don't want to touch that. Messy, 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 messy. Not Lionel Messi. That is crappy messy. Don't want to touch it. Right, let's go down to the H4 chart. Okay, I would say we've had a H4 structure break. As soon as we broke out of this level here, we're now firmly in an uptrend. The problem you have is if you're buying now, you're buying into this resistance level. I would potentially wait for a break of that level, retest, and then take price back up to here, especially if you're trading the 15-minute chart, because it really, that's loads of room between here and here. 15-minute chart, I don't like to do it, but let's take a look at it. Again, you're trading into resistance, right? The market's showing you that is resistance, right? Again, this is not me making stuff up or having any preconceived ideas. The market is telling you that's resistance. So why try and buy into it? Yeah, wait for a break and then buy. So I hope that helps Raphael. Okay, Askif's got a question here. Will support and resistance work on a smaller time frame? So guys, before I ask Askif's question, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash the like button. Please go check out the website. Please join our free Discord and please switch brokers today. We will give you free shit. Does support and resistance work on a smaller time frame? Yes, but it's just less reliable. It's like anything, guys. If you have daily trend is more reliable than, let's say, H1 trend, right? daily support and resistance is more reliable than H1 support and resistance. Right? And that's how it works. Daily is more reliable than H4. H4 is more reliable than H1. H1 is more reliable than M15. And if you go below the M15, you know, I would get a nosebleed. I've done it and it just wasn't healthy, to be quite honest. So yeah. And on that note, guys, I've just looked at the time. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for the live stream. Please don't forget to join us again, same time again tomorrow. Please get all your questions ready for me, and we can do it again. All right. Have a great trading day. See you soon.